Hi, so I am doing another probably pointless video today. Like I just got out of the shower, so my hands are gross as usual. This mask isn't really fitting properly, but so I am doing like a one today based on like a few dreams. Like I've had many dreams. Some of them come true, some of them don't. This is based on like this one time I was like just entertaining myself. I was a little bit drunk. I was like just drawing random things on the side, and when I looked at it before, I kind of saw something in it that relates to a dream I had, whether or not it'll come true. When I looked at this, I drew like this, and when I looked at it, I kind of like saw this woman pulling a sword from a stone, and like it could be golden, but I also then saw a vision of a woman pulling it from the stone, and there was like darkness in their eyes, and the darkness was like coming out of the eyes, being um purged from my eyes. I don't know if this relates to a certain story I was told about like God and all this or that, and if he found a witch and it was the first witch and it was a good one and he chose it, he would give them darkness. I don't know if it relates to that or not because when I first saw it, they could be golden, but then like I saw someone's eyes getting darkness hit or something, and the sword purging it from the darkness from their eyes, which was interesting. Um, yeah, pretty interesting thought or theory. Um, one of the reasons I chose to make this is because I had a bad dream. Like, I sometimes have bad dreams, sometimes don't. Like, in the past, I had, like, a bad dream about someone at an office in a situation in a different state to mine, and, like, someone, like, they slit their throat and then they drown in a river. And, like, the next day, I was scrolling through my phone and I saw on my newsfeed that someone had died, like, in a river or something. I was like, whoa, that's coincidental, and stuff like that seems to happen quite a bit, which I think is not good. But basically, like a couple of weeks ago, or in the last couple of weeks, I had a dream about teenagers at school getting like assaulted and stuff like that. And the next day, I decided like to follow my instincts. I was like, I feel like going on this app. I don't really want to go on it for this other reasons because it's kind of gross. Because I do it sometimes and I'm like ill at the same time. Not like hurting teenagers, obviously, but so the next day I had a feeling to go on like an app page that I had been on previously because a friend showed me. So I went on and checked it, and there was like news or information, like news about the fact that some teenagers had actually been getting assaulted at like stuff and that. It didn't say it was at a school or not, but like it kind of matched up with the dream I had, and I was like, well, that's kind of scary and interesting. Seems to be happening again. Like I don't know why. It's an interesting thing. Sometimes the dreams come real, sometimes they don't. But like part that was left out in this dream is the island. These people were taking these particular like teenagers that were getting kidnapped to like certain islands or something. It was a weird ass dream. They were taking these teenagers to the island and they were doing mean things, and like some of them were getting like experimented on and all this horrible shit, and I was like, well, that's not very nice, that's not very good. Like what the fuck, it's not okay. um Yeah, it was an interesting island. I kind of remember like the shirts they were wearing and like this area they were sitting in as well, which was interesting. I can't remember the shirts exactly. I think they were like white shirts with like maybe lines on them or something, but I can't actually remember the shirts exactly because it's kind of like faded from my vision or my memory. Which is kind of interesting, but I really hope it's just a coincidence. Because I did have this dream like the night before. I just got the instinct to go on and check these apps, and then I did, and it's apparently some teenagers have been getting assaulted. So I'm like, well, fuck that. That's not good. Um, it also reminds me of claims. Some people will claim certain people, especially even people with heritages, they might be jealous of these people because these people chose to go out and like do these things without a heritage, which isn't necessarily good. Like you're supposed to see what you're shown, or like you could have a heritage in it, which lets you see it. And some people go out there, and I don't know why, for the life of me, why they would go out and choose to like try to pursue these things unless they have a natural affinity for it. Like they were born or chosen for it from a line or from like a blessing or something in order to do this or something. Like I don't get that because like from what I learned, like the people that choose to do this, with very rare exceptions, will be like not very good outcome for them in the end, like where they go for it, and like their children and their children's children, kind of suffer for the sins of their forefathers. And at the same time, those ones are born that way, so they have the chance to like learn and grow a soul, or being sort of turned into something or created as that is like an exception too, which I think is kind of interesting. Not the beings who chose to take on the actions to do this. Like there's some rare exceptions of people choosing to do it, which is kind of like a sacrifice of self in a way, but I don't know. Like it's all interesting viewpoints. Yeah, some people are going to claim that certain people are like not even spiritualists or not even like gifted or not blessed or they can't do these things that they can actually do, especially people who come from lines and they're jealous or maybe they're trying to steal it from them or stop them because these people themselves are evil or they're working with evil beings knowingly or unknowingly. Like maybe chaos or madness or something beings or um yeah, so you should be cautious around these people, especially because some of these people might be trying to stop you from getting to like the good ones or the ones that are born this who are good. Like maybe they wanted to be something and they tried to be something by calling out there and it wasn't the being they thought answered and all this kind of stuff, which I think is an interesting theory. In this dream, I don't know how relevant this is or not. I don't know if I should say this or not, but I had a dream that like someone had their skin was turning red and they didn't realize, and then they got like these nails and they kind of like took on this like hairy furry form and they were incredibly fast and like they were going out when they could do this on purpose one day and remember and they were no longer limited because like it was actually half of them what they were born as well as being like part human and this or that. So they were going out and saving all these people, and they weren't actually possessed. And like there was also a chance in this dream that they would think they were possessed, so they would like try to take it out of someone or rip it out of someone, and this would actually like rip their soul or the person that was born that way out, and their body would look like deformed because that was like them without the other half, and they buried them when they were alive, so they could feel these bugs across their face, but they were still alive, and that's why they could feel the bugs on their face because these people weren't possessed, which is different to like someone feeling a dead person or a dead body with bugs on their face and a mediumship ability, which is pretty interesting. So like this person was inside of other people and they didn't realize it, which is kind of interesting. Um, yeah. Um, I decided to for try to do the sound to try to help with negative energies in this situation, but I don't know if it's a good idea. But I love this thing. Yeah, and this red being was mistaken for something else. Like they thought it was something else from stereotypical, but it wasn't. It was more of like a fox being, which was interesting, but it was definitely a good one. I hope this video has enough to save because for some reason I don't know how to change the setting, but it's saving to my like cloud storage instead of like the fucking 200 gigabytes the computer has like it was before. Maybe that's just a backup and it's saving it anyway. I really hope it does because I want to keep making more. Whether or not people watch them one day or when I die or this or that or something, I don't fucking know. Who knows? I mean, it kind of reminds me of like a story about people who are like it sometimes happens every 1,000 years, sometimes more about like someone who is psychic and has foresight and sees things and like as their time comes to pass and they're gonna like be blinded by darkness or they die, someone else starts to around them, possibly someone they meet, will start to get like all the visions and stuff, and like their ability will be passed down to someone who like they consider or judge or deem to be worthy of it, or is judged worthy by the universe or something. It's a kind of cool theory, like someone who kind of prepares for the death before it happens. Just interesting. Okay, so I got three cards for the future, one card for the past, one card for the present. I thought I said Dylan, but it's Dristan. Dristan. The for the past, Andel. It's a fairy card because this is the Oracle Dragon Fae, which I don't think really fits into the lore of things like passing it down. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I don't know enough. In the past, Andel, emotional flow. So, someone who in the past was like letting their emotions out of flow. I should probably read it from the book, right? But so much effort. Um, People always imagine who are the Dragon Fae, that we who sorry, people always imagine that we who are the Dragon Fae have special powers that remind render us immature from sadness. Not so. The time from time to time, I have found my own sadness overflow. So someone who is overcome with emotions at a certain point, maybe they couldn't even physically speak. They were so sad. Like trying to get the words out as they were crying or sad. That's all I'm gonna read for that one. The present Dryston, not Dylan, look beneath the surface. Something unseen. This is kind of like a jester with bad wings. Um, so someone who is playing something for someone in a situation. Look beneath the surface. Don't be distracted. See beyond the act. All my artifice holds onto the truth. Which and what moment would you wish not to see? So like stop seeing what you think you want to see or the moment you wish to see. Like see what it is, not what you think it is or what you want it to be. You know, stop looking at these situations wrong. Stop seeing what you want to see in someone based on like a preconceived idea or appearance or maybe like a group mentality. Have compassion for others. Some wanted me to be an angel when I have never been of the heavens. That's relevant to some people, certainly. Maybe some people actually are of the heavens. Person of beings someone who made no claims to their virtue. So someone who didn't say, I'm powerful, this or that, or didn't make any claims to like the virtue they had or held. They kind of just were like, well, I am this, so I don't need to prove it to anyone. You know, my visions are real, my visions are true, my powers are true. I don't need to prove it to fucking anyone. If whether or not they're without them because someone found out about it and they're trying to drain them or steal them and claim that it's not theirs out of jealousy, envy, ego, pride, or even jealousy for their ability, their strength, their power, their beauty, or something. So someone who never tried to prove himself because they're like, I know that I am myself. I know that I am this. I know that I am that. I don't need to prove it to anyone because, you know, I'm happy with myself and I don't need to prove it to anyone. I just need to be that person for someone. I don't care if anyone thinks I am that or not. And the three cards for the future, Guiney and Ilash, Attunement, Brigid, We Are One. Kind of reminds me of the Australian national anthem. Some people in Australia say, oh, foreigners, blah blah, which is not all that common. But like the Australian national anthem literally says, "We are one, we are many." So like part of the Australian culture is supposed to be acceptance of different beings and cultures and different people into the country. So it's like the people that say, "Oh, fucking foreigners," this or that. It's like, are you even properly Australian, bro? And the other one is Palinor and the Lady, Bittersweet Farewell. So an ending for someone, something comes to an end. I hope this doesn't relate to like literal end, but Gwenny and Ilish, the attunement, a dragon-free prince, someone who is in perfect harmony, someone who looks different or quite odd or not normal to others, but they're not necessarily that because these people just have like a set perception of how people should be that's not necessarily even right or okay. They just think this for some reason. Someone who was ageless, someone who doesn't necessarily ever give in or give down. Sometimes they might back or they might not act or might not react, but they're just observing for future references. Maybe they step back and help other people. And it looks like they're being cowardly from the sideline, but they're actually observing and they will only step in at the moment someone needs it. So that someone is like as strong as they can be without them there. Earth magic may be speaking to someone at this time. Someone might be connecting with their inner self or like thoughts or powers they have lost, like surrounding them. Um, Answers are within someone. It's cool because I got the book of answers here. Um, feared words, feared words to be spoken. So someone fears something being told to them or being spoken. So someone fears someone saying something about a situation or something that could happen, which is not necessarily their fault, but this person might take it to heart. You know, there might be other people in the situation who could actually be held responsible, but it's not them, and you know, interesting. It was outside of their circumstances or their power, and there are other people that go into this situation that could have like prevented something from happening, but this person's going to blame themselves, and it's not necessarily themselves. Maybe they're not going to blame themselves. They're just going to be sad or angry that they couldn't find or stop something in time, which for some of it was inevitable and they couldn't do anything. But if certain other beings in the situation had have like taken something more seriously or looked into something, a lot less of bad things would have happened to certain people, which is interesting. Bridget for the other person or card in the future. We are one. We are the Fae and the dragon. We are the blood of the ancients, the blood of the star seekers. So kind of like the Fae and the dragon, not exactly angels or demons, something else. The dragon Fae. They are mothers, they are daughters, they are fathers, they are sons. You are the wise woman, the crone, the hag, the maiden, light-footed innocent, which I didn't think they were fairies. I thought they were like demons or something, so that's interesting. Maybe they're not. Maybe I was just misunderstood about that. You know what happens. Um, Working with Bridget, I don't know about that. I hope she's nice. She seems pretty cool by the impression she gives. She's got kind of Bridget is the Irish Celtic triple goddess, mother of all, goddess of the forge, of birth, the hearth, and home, and all sacred wells and waters, transformed by the church into a Christian saint. She predates her saint counterpart by some 4,000 years. She is a wolf, she is a well of kindness and strength, the patroness of those who are going through any form of struggle to be born into another time and their lives. She carries a sword and knows that this time will be eased if you hold on to hope and understand that this is an experience that belongs and to endure. All will not be lost. Last. Sorry, all will not last. Sorry, I think I'm getting dyslexia sometimes. So do not. It says do not struggle, but I see struggle if you have to. Um, or do not struggle in certain situations because it kind of reminds me sometimes when you struggle, it can make it worse. Sometimes it's better. It's kind of like this thing. Like some people think someone might be extremely strong, but there's a strategy when it comes to struggling and not struggling. If you're taking on someone of a bigger, heavier size of weight than you, when I was like used to be skinny, um, and very skinny for my age and size. Like, there's certain ways you can use someone's force or motion against them, or their weight or strength against them. If you're littler or smaller or skinnier, you can learn to use that against them. I did that like when I was a child or a teenager, going up against horrible, evil adult people in order to come out victorious. It's kind of strategy. Find uncommon areas and beliefs, and the vulnerability to others or different people. Understand aging that is part of the human process, moving beyond conditional fears. So someone might be aging, someone might be not, someone might be going to their true age. Um, I hope it's not like some evil pedophile curse that turns someone back into 16-year-olds, but probably not. Like, I had a bad dream or fear about that. And then they eat their age to pretend to be young people. Probably not. Um, Card makes a gracious present felt. Presence felt. Um, Apparently working with Bridget. I don't know if it's a good idea to tell you this or not. Maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't. I don't know, but she seems pretty cool. But like I can't tell everything by looking at someone. Like I'm not meant to do that. But it's something about working with candles, flames, and keeping the light going in your life. Reducing the artificial light in your life. I like some artificial lights, like glowing is cool, but glowing is kind of like this view I have on yin yang, right? So it's like yin and yang are there, light and darkness, and there's darkness within the light and light within the darkness, which can be taken as good within evil and evil within good. But like this recent view I've had on it is kind of like, well, trees have shadows and the shadows don't exist without the light, right? And in darkness, like especially in caves and underground, certain things have started to glow. So like the white could represent that like the glowing, that things can't shine or glow without darkness. They can't truly shine or grow without the darkness, like a torch in light doesn't shine. And a tree can't cast shadows without light, which is also like in the light, if someone's tired and the sunlight is exhausting them and blah blah blah, the tree or the shadows represents healing. To them, it's like a place of healing and surrender. So, like, some people think light or darkness is good or evil. I think it depends on the being of light or darkness, personally, because it's kind of like both neutral forces. Like, in the Bible, even like the original evil himself was a being of light, not a being of darkness. So I'm kind of like, well, I don't know, like maybe someone else is the light now. Maybe the light kind of was taken with him. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't, which explains why people get sunburn. But probably not. Like maybe that's not supposed to happen properly. Maybe there was some ulterior thing with that, but I honestly don't think so. Like this is just all conjecture theories I've had, which is interesting. And there is 26, which is Helena and the Lady. Don't take anything I said just then about like my theories of light and darkness of the heart, because none of it's actually confirmed. It's just all conjecture. Um, we are saying farewell to our hearts, and our hearts are breaking. While we say farewell for now, we do not know what lies before us. Only that for a time it is necessary to be separated from the one we love with all being in order to complete our mission. We are sad, but we are also blooming. Because together we have exceptions and a sweetheart for joy and a few words that can be spoken to calm. We long for freedom to help those around us. We inspire. We seek to be good. We seek to help. We seek to fight. We seek the light. You will be reunited with someone, but when that is precisely might be an unclear or hard time, and there might be a reason for it. A bittersweet ache with the hearts, but happy with who they are and what they found. Like a situation, maybe someone's found being reunited with someone, and it's like really fucking necessary to get there and good timing and to do something in order to get the best possible outcome. And like when it comes down to it in the situation, someone can only do the best they can because you're not capable of any more than your best. You know what I mean? Like you can only try your best, you're not capable of any more. So you have to try to take the best in that and do the best you can in that situation. And, you know, if you're going to save someone, hope you can save someone. And think about the lives you saved, not the lives you lost, because you tried to save lives. But if you're going to help someone or save someone, think about all those you saved and help to go on, not all those that you couldn't. Like, obviously, I'm not saying forget the ones that you didn't save. You can learn from that. You can learn from them, their stories, and share them. But like, you know, don't let it get you down too much if you couldn't help someone as much as it's a horrible, sucky situation. A card about lovers being separated, even for a moment. Friends who are leaving each other's company means a lonesome time. And a card is jealous or travels far. Um, a journey of life or life has a journey, needing to engage with someone. Um, the reason for this is something to do with a serpent, or a crow. A note on love and lovers and taken or being taken or something or someone being taken. Which is interesting. Someone who was literally just placed in the middle and like it was something that would have happened regardless, and someone has just been put in the middle or put themselves in the middle in order to find it to get a better outcome. Like someone who might even be blamed for a situation, but you know, there's certain people will, certain people won't. Like kind of like you know, a friend putting themselves in a situation or someone putting in a situation to help it, rather than a situation with my ex, which is the opposite of them trying to go out and put themselves into bad situations because they couldn't rape and murder someone because they were like too weak, so they go out and try to join all these horrible situations in the gangs. And like something that was a message that they would have done this to someone, this would have happened to someone regardless of if it was this person or not, and this person was just kind of like put there or put themselves there in order for it to like not be as bad for other people. Is like kind of like a view I have on it. Like when I say I went through these bad things, I'm like, well, you know, at least it wasn't someone else who wouldn't have made it, or at least it wasn't someone else who would have been in a mental institution right now because of it, who couldn't handle it. You know, like I'm kind of glad it wasn't anyone else. As much as it sucks that I had to go through these things, it sucks that other people do have to go through this. If all the bad things in the world could come to an end, that would just be fucking amazing. You know what I mean? But as long as there's these evil roots or these evil seeds or these evil sources out there, you have to take out the evil corruption at its basis, and then you know it's going to kill the branches and the tree of evil. Like it's kind of like this viewpoint I have on like the evil seed and life and the Tree of evil and evil people, which is kind of, I don't know, a weird viewpoint I've made up. Someone is going to say goodbye to someone sweet in a painful way. Um, this card indicates, I see death, but it indicates there could be a change or a separation of sorts of someone. Uh, Being together may tempt someone, or it may be a temperamented someone. A time of necessary separation. Sometimes with someone we meet is a charismatic or perfect individual, only seemingly loose. Someone will only seemingly lose them, or maybe someone who seems charismatic. Um, there is nothing lost about this situation. It could be like a situation to meet later, like a rebirth, a new phase of life. It might not be what it seems like. It's interesting, but yeah. The sadness of parting with love and balance and joy in the heart will help ease an ache and a pain. Um, the ache with truly deep love and romantic interest, like, you know, something, I see something not pretty that's going to hurt someone, and it's going to be a horrible situation to know or be in or see, and it's going to suck, but it's necessary, and it might not be what people think or take of it. Like, it could be helping other people so no one else has to undergo this in a situation, and that within the next 5 or 10 generations is going to save thousands of people, innocent lives from the actions you took today. And it sucks that like one person would have to get hurt for that, but in the end, it's going to save like so many more lives, and you just got to look at the positive of this situation and think of the good you're doing rather than the bad. You know, like, I don't agree with everything. I don't not agree with everything, but I think certain situations is like just no. It's all weird. Like, I guess this is all starting from that dream I had where I had a dream that teenagers were getting kidnapped and hurt. And then I got the instinct or the feeling to look on an app, and then I found out, like, let's just say it was a news article about, like, an information news article about how some teenagers have been getting hurt. You know, some people just find things, but these things would have happened regardless. These people just kind of end up being put in these situations, or some of them even put themselves in the middle of these situations, which sucks, but, you know, it's a better outcome for everyone in the end anyway. And some people can take solace in that. Okay, so for the affairs of the heart, which some of those indicated, feel apologetically. So maybe someone does deserve an apology, or someone's going to feel like apologetic or sorry or sad. But even if mistakes are made and things are bad, all you can do in the future is go forward to the best situation and fix these mistakes and do the best you can and hope for the best outcome possible. Um, yeah. And this one, when you give a hug, you automatically get one back. That's what I was learning about someone who might be with or without their healing ability, which is interesting, but it's supposed to be like this. I was seeing all these different videos come up of these people I had never joined before on YouTube. Like, this is how I see most of my videos on YouTube. They just randomly pop up my page, and I don't follow all this kind of crazy spiritual shit. It just seems to pop up even if I make a new account because I get locked out of my old one. I'm saying about someone who is in fact a healer, and like apparently they leveled up and they didn't even realize it when they were getting their energy and pulling the energy back, and they kind of like apparently now have this thing so that if they start to heal someone else, they'll heal themselves as well. So the more they heal other people, the more they themselves will be healed, which I think is an interesting theory. Like someone who is just out there helping other people and caring about it over themselves, apparently, and this kind of like unlocked a new ability or part of themselves. So the more they heal other people, the more they themselves will be healed. I don't know if it's true, but that's kind of cool, right? Maybe it's like a reward for them and their selflessness and their self-sacrifice. Because, you know, some people think sacrifice involves murdering an innocent lamb, but that's not what it necessarily always means. Like, some form of sacrifice could be a mother not getting to go out, a mother not getting to go out, to see her friends for a whole year or every week because she's constantly looking after her children and she's constantly working to provide for them and something like that. That itself is sacrifice. Even going out of your way to help and save people at the expense of social interactions, like your social life or personal time, that is a form of sacrifice. I'm sorry, I'm just using this thing because I bought it. It's smaller than I thought, but so is my friend's birthday present, and I fucking love this thing. What's the time? I gotta make sure I get to uni on time. Get my ugly ass to uni on time. Um, ooh, I also want to show you. I got this like a couple of months ago at expo for like tarot cards and psychic things. I thought it was pretty cool. It was so much cheaper than I thought it would be. I swore it was heavier, but um, it's interesting. Um, like it's so cool. I love it. I drew. I don't know if it's disrespectful or not, but I drew a little bit like a little tie on it because I was like, how cool would a dragon and a tie be? That would be so fucking awesome. But yeah. Anyway, thank you so much. Have a lovely day or night or month or beginning or ending or ending. Thank you so much. Love you all. Goodbye.